You ever sit there at night, staring at the ceiling, and realize, if nothing changes, this is exactly how your life is going to stay? Same routine, same excuses, same quiet disappointment you don't tell anyone about. There was this guy, let's call him Ryan. Not special, not talented in any obvious way. Just average. A regular 9-to-5 job, barely covering rent, scrolling his phone every night telling himself, I'll figure it out tomorrow. You know that feeling, right? Like you're not failing, but you're definitely not moving forward either. Ryan wasn't lazy. That's what made it worse. He showed up, he worked, but deep down, he knew something was off. Every morning felt heavier than the last. Every paycheck disappeared faster. And every time someone asks, what's your plan? He'd laugh it off. Because he didn't have one. One night, everything felt louder than usual. The silence in his room, the thoughts in his head, the question he kept avoiding. Is this really it? And here's where it gets interesting, because something happened that night that he didn't expect. Something small, almost nothing, but it planted a thought he couldn't ignore anymore. Before we get into that, if this story makes you see your own life a little differently, hit subscribe. Not for motivation, but for that moment where things finally start to click. Because what Ryan did next, it didn't look like success, not even close. It looked like failure, and that's exactly where everything started to break. At first, Ryan tried to change everything overnight. Woke up early, made a plan, watched all the successful people online and thought, I'll just do what they do. But reality hit fast. He was tired, unfocused, distracted. After a few days, he slipped right back into his old habits. That same chair, that same scrolling, that same voice in his head saying, see, this isn't you. Listen, this is where most people stop. Not because they can't change, but because failing once feels like proof that they never could. Ryan felt that too. Weeks passed. Nothing changed. In fact, it got worse. Work became unbearable. He started comparing himself to everyone. Friends moving forward, people building things, and him stuck. Then came the moment that broke him. One random afternoon, his boss pulled him aside. Nothing dramatic. Just a simple line. You've got potential, but I don't see you using it. That was it. No yelling. No warning, just truth. And for some reason, that hurt more than anything. That night, Ryan didn't scroll. He didn't distract himself. He just sat there, thinking, replaying every excuse he had ever made. Every tomorrow he never showed up for. And then the doubt hit hard. What if I'm just not built for more? What if this is all I'll ever be? That thought, it almost won. Because when you start believing that, you stop trying completely. And for a moment, Ryan did. He gave up. But here's the part no one talks about. Giving up doesn't feel dramatic. It feels quiet. Slow. Like you're just fading into a version of life you never chose. And Ryan felt it. Days turned into weeks. Less effort. Less care. Less everything. Until one morning, he caught his reflection, and for the first time, he didn't recognize himself. Not physically, mentally. That's when something clicked. Not motivation. Not hype. Just a simply uncomfortable realization. If I keep going like this, nothing changes. Ever. No big speech, no perfect plan. Just that. So he did something different. Not big, not impressive, just consistent. One small action a day. Even when it felt pointless, even when nothing seemed to improve. And slowly, things started shifting. Not his life at first, but him. His focus got sharper. His excuses got weaker. That voice in his head, it didn't disappear, but it stopped being in control. And that small moment from the beginning, the one that planted the thought, it came back. Only this time, he understood it. It was never about starting big. It was about refusing to stay the same. Now ask yourself, how many times have you told yourself, I'll start tomorrow? And how many tomorrows have already passed? Because the truth is, Ryan didn't become someone new. He just stopped being the version of himself that kept quitting. If this hits you, comment below what's one thing you know you've been avoiding. And share this with someone who's stuck in that same place. Because sometimes, one story is enough to wake someone up. And if you want more real stories that actually make you think, subscribe to grow and improve, because the next one might be the one that changes everything for you.